Some other things to consider when we're looking at Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 are how long is it going to take me, or how long am I going to be in the bankruptcy? Chapter 13 is going to be a longer period of time. It's going to be either that 36 months or 60 months that you're in your payment plan. Whereas at Chapter 7, typically you're going to get your discharge in about 4.5 months. And if you are paying things back, you'll pay that stipulation back to the trustee over a 12-month period of time. But it's going to be a shorter period of time. One of the things that I like to compare it to here, a Chapter 7 is kind of like a snapshot. We're going to take a picture of the way things are on the day you file, and that's really how we're going to deal with your case. But a Chapter 13 is more like a movie. We're going to have a starting point in that movie, but we're going to continue to follow it throughout the life of your plan and make adjustments for income losses or income gains and looking at your disposable income. That's probably the one part about a Chapter 13 that's most difficult for somebody to explain or understand, is the disposable income number. The disposable income number is one of two things, but most often it's looking at the expenses and subtracting what we call the allowed expenses. Unfortunately, not every expense is allowed. There are some standard expenses that must be followed, and looking at how much money you have left over every month. That ultimately can determine your payment in a Chapter 13 more so than your assets. So I have a general rule that if you qualify for a Chapter 7 and you can afford to, either you don't have any assets, I mean any situation where an individual comes in and they pass the means test and they have less than $6,000 worth of assets, a Chapter 7 is more appropriate. But if they have maybe $2,000 or $3,000 worth of non-exempt property that they're going to have to pay back, typically you lean towards the Chapter 7 and say anytime you can file a Chapter 7, you're eligible for it and you can afford it, it's the way to go. But not everybody can. The Chapter 13 does make a lot of sense sometimes. The Chapter 13 can help you reorganize debt. The Chapter 13 can also help you if you're behind on your mortgage payments, behind on your car payments, looking to do a loan modification. One of the biggest changes or the biggest additions to the Chapter 13 area of practice in the last couple of years has been the mortgage modification program. What this program does is it allows you to propose a mortgage modification a payment in your bankruptcy plan and go to mediation with the creditor. So that's another time where Chapter 13 makes more sense.